There was a time when ascending stairs felt effortless, automatic. Now your hand seeks the railing for security. Once you could traverse miles without pause. Today, even brief walks leave you breathless and somewhat unsteady. This transformation does not represent weakness. This phenomenon transcends mere aging. This constitutes a message. Your muscles have not abandoned you. They are requesting assistance. Assistance that extends beyond movement to encompass what circulates through your system daily. We commonly believe hydration involves consuming adequate water. However, if that water cannot penetrate your cells, it provides no benefit. As years accumulate, the human body begins losing its natural mineral equilibrium. These minerals, known as electrolytes, serve as messengers carrying signals from your brain to your muscles. Without their presence, your strength diminishes. Your balance becomes uncertain, and your muscles, regardless of water consumption, remain parched and exhausted. If you have crossed 65 and notice diminished strength compared to previous years, if your legs tremble or lightheadedness occurs, if cramping happens easily even during rest, something essential may be absent from your water. However, the opportunity for change still exists. Throughout this exploration, I shall lead you through 5 carefully selected water enhancements. Each choice has been deliberately made. Each selection has scientific backing, and each possesses the potential to restore strength, mental clarity, and vitality to your physical form. One careful sip after another. Let our journey commence. They claim aging represents the gradual erosion of strength. I cannot accept this perspective. Aging represents the gradual loss of equilibrium, not merely physical balance, but the internal currents sustaining life itself. At the heart of this current exist minerals, not vitamins, not calories, but the simple, frequently overlooked salts of our earth: sodium, potassium, magnesium, and zinc. Collectively, they are termed electrolytes. Electrolytes function as the body's unseen messengers. They transport signals from your brain to your muscles. They govern your heart's rhythm. They instruct your muscles when to relax and when to contract. Without their presence, communication fails. When communication fails, the body falters. You might experience this loss through various manifestations: a sudden nighttime leg cramp, dizziness upon standing, strange fatigue in your arms after holding lightweight objects. This does not indicate weakness. This does not represent failure. This represents a system requesting support. Why does this intensify with age? Because the body gradually becomes less efficient at retaining these minerals. We lose them through perspiration, through medications, through stress. Consuming more water without minerals only accelerates their depletion. This explains why hydration at your age must be deliberate. Not merely water, but water infused with wisdom. How do we restore this internal current? We begin with a straightforward practice. Each morning before eating, prepare a glass of mineral water. You do not need an expensive beverage. You need a formula that functions effectively. Begin with clean, filtered water. Add a pinch of natural sea salt or Himalayan pink salt, no more than 1/8 of a teaspoon. This provides trace amounts of sodium and up to 80 additional minerals. Next, if available, incorporate an electrolyte powder containing potassium and magnesium. Select one containing no sugar, no caffeine, no artificial colors. If you prefer natural foods, squeeze some lemon for potassium or add coconut water, which provides both potassium and natural sweetness. You may consume this first thing in the morning or sip it slowly during light activity. How much do you require? Most adults over 65 benefit from 300 to 500 milligrams of sodium daily from added electrolytes, especially if they perspire, take diuretics, or experience low energy. For magnesium, target 200 to 300 milligrams daily from all sources. Exceeding this amount may cause loose stool, so increase gradually. Always consult your doctor if you take medications affecting kidney or fluid balance. Remember, you are not adding salt to raise your blood pressure. You are restoring what has been lost. This concerns transmission, not taste. Bringing life back to the internal network. When your electrolytes achieve balance, something subtle returns. Your grip strengthens. Your legs feel firmer beneath you. Your thoughts feel less foggy, less distant. You have not reversed time. You have simply reconnected the circuits. In ancient wisdom traditions, we learn that still water is not lifeless. It represents potential awaiting current. The same truth applies to you. There exists a story often shared in sacred spaces. A student asked the master, "What should I drink to cleanse the body?" The master replied, "Drink what cleanses the mind first. Simplicity, intention, and a little lemon." In our modern world, we seek energy in coffee, recovery in pills, and clarity in stimulation. However, Sometimes the most powerful medicine already exists in your kitchen, quiet, waiting unnoticed. One of the simplest and most profound additions to your daily water is this: fresh lemon juice and a pinch of Himalayan salt. Let us first discuss the lemon. It appears bright, sharp, and full of contradiction. It tastes acidic, but once digested, it creates an alkalizing effect on the body. This means it helps reduce low-grade inflammation and supports pH lands in your tissues. For older adults, this matters profoundly. As we age, the body becomes slightly more acidic due to processed food, medication, and stress. This acid buildup contributes to inflammation, joint pain, fatigue, and slow cellular hydration. Lemon offers a gentle way to bring the body back into its natural healing range. However, lemon extends beyond pH considerations. It also provides potassium, a key electrolyte supporting muscle contraction, heart rhythm, and nerve function. It contains vitamin C, an antioxidant helping reduce oxidative stress and supporting your immune system, especially important for people over 65. Now let us incorporate Himalayan salt. Not table salt, but salt extracted from ancient mineral deposits. Why this particular salt? Because unlike refined salt, it contains over 80 trace minerals, including magnesium, calcium, zinc, and iron. These minerals play a quiet, critical role in hydration, energy production, and nerve signaling. Together, lemon and Himalayan salt form a natural electrolyte beverage. A homemade sports drink, but without sugar, without chemicals, without noise. More importantly, they work harmoniously with your body. When should you consume this? I recommend first thing in the morning. Why? Because after 7 to 8 hours of sleep, the body naturally exists in a state of dehydration. A warm glass of water with lemon and salt awakens your digestive system, gently flushes toxins, and prepares your cells to receive nutrients throughout the day. Here is a simple formula: 10 to 12 ounces of warm filtered water, the juice of half a fresh lemon, a small pinch of Himalayan pink salt, about 1/8 teaspoon. Stir well, drink slowly, breathe between sips. If the taste proves too strong, you can add a few drops of raw honey, not for sweetness, but to balance the flavor and support the throat. However, keep it simple. The body does not request flavor, it requests function. Now some important considerations, especially if you have high blood pressure or kidney issues. Though Himalayan salt contains sodium, the amount here remains very small. Still, if you are under strict sodium restriction, consult your physician before starting. Never add this drink on top of a highly processed, high-salt diet. It is meant to replace, not add. What should you feel? If your body is in need, you may notice a clearer head, less stiffness in your joints, more regular digestion, a slight increase in morning energy, and reduced craving for stimulants. This is not magic. This is cellular hydration. This is your body responding to support that feels natural, not forced. In sacred traditions, we often begin the day in silence with tea or warm lemon water, not because it is tradition, but because the body listens best in quiet moments. Your body, even now, is listening, so give it something worth hearing. Give it clarity in the form of citrus. Give it balance in the form of salt. Let the first drink of your day become your first act of healing. You do not need to chase youth. You only need to nourish the wisdom that age has already given you. There exists a moment in aging that arrives quietly. You reach to open a jar and feel your hand tremble. You rise from a chair and pause, waiting for your knees to remember how. You forget not just names, but why you walked into the room. This is not always weakness. Often it is depletion. A slow, invisible loss of the building blocks your body once manufactured with ease. One of the most important among them is a compound called creatine. You may have heard of it, often whispered in gyms, spoken of by athletes. However, creatine is not exclusively for bodybuilders. It is not a stimulant. It is not a drug. It is a naturally occurring molecule that lives inside every muscle and every brain cell in your body. It is deeply connected to how you age. Here is what science has shown us clearly and repeatedly. As we grow older, the body produces and stores less creatine. This leads to slower muscle recovery, weaker movement, and reduced physical endurance. However, more than that, it affects the brain. Creatine fuels ATP production, the energy currency not just of muscle, but of memory, focus, and mental clarity. In people over 65, low creatine levels are linked to fatigue, depression, and even cognitive decline. However, there is encouraging news. Creatine can be restored, gently, naturally, and effectively. How? By simply adding a small dose of creatine monohydrate to your daily water. No taste, no smell, no rush of energy, just quiet cellular support. Here is what I recommend. Choose creatine monohydrate in powder form. Make sure it is labeled micronized for better absorption. Use 2 to 3 grams per day. Mix into water, tea, or a smoothie. preferably in the morning or after light activity. You do not need to cycle creatine. This is not a performance enhancer. This is nutritional restoration. Some may ask, is it safe for someone my age? The answer, backed by decades of research, is yes for most healthy adults. Creatine has been studied in seniors, stroke survivors, and individuals with neurodegenerative diseases. In low daily doses, it has shown benefits for muscle mass and strength, bone density, cognitive function, reaction time, and emotional well-being. However, there are a few considerations. If you have kidney disease, consult your doctor before starting. Creatine is processed by the kidneys, and though it is safe in healthy individuals, medical guidance is important. Also, drink enough water. Creatine pulls fluid into your muscle cells, and proper hydration supports this process. You may not feel a dramatic change on day one. However, over weeks, something subtle returns. You get up from the chair with less hesitation. You carry groceries without needing to stop. You remember the name. You remember the room. Most importantly, you remember yourself. In ancient wisdom, we learn to honor what is hidden, the breath you cannot see, the silence between thoughts, and the strength that lives quietly beneath the skin. Creatine is like that. It does not make noise. It does not seek credit. However, it gives the body what it needs to move with dignity. You do not take creatine to chase your youth. You take it to preserve your freedom to walk, to think, to live without fear of fading. So tomorrow morning, as you prepare your water, remember this. One scoop, no taste, but 1,000 quiet echoes in your cells. Sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest strength. Let this be one of them. You may not eat much these days. Your appetite is smaller. Meals feel heavier. Sometimes you think, at my age, I do not need that much food anymore. That is partly true. You do not need more food, but you do need more of what builds you. Let me explain. Every muscle in your body, every fiber, every strand is made of protein. Every protein is made of amino acids. These are the raw materials of life. However, not all amino acids are the same. Some your body can make, some it cannot. These are called essential amino acids, the ones you must get from what you eat or what you drink. Without them, your muscles shrink, your healing slows, and your strength quietly slips away. Now here is the truth few people tell older adults. Even if you eat the words 3 meals a day, even if you eat meat, your body becomes less efficient at absorbing protein as you age. This is called anabolic resistance. It means you may need more protein, not less. However, more importantly, you need protein in a form your body can actually use. This is where essential amino acids, or EAAs, come in. Unlike whole proteins, EAA powders deliver the exact amino acids your muscles need without the burden of digestion. They are rapidly absorbed into the bloodstream and used for repair, for rebuilding, for energy. Even more specifically, you may have heard of BCAAs, branched-chain amino acids. These include leucine, isoleucine, and valine, 3 critical players in muscle maintenance. However, while BCAAs are helpful, they are only part of the full picture. EAAs contain all 9 essential amino acids your body needs for complete recovery. So what does this mean for you? It means you can support your muscles without overeating. You can nourish your body without adding heavy meals. You can maintain strength by simply sipping smart. Here is how. Once a day, mix 5 to 10 grams of EAA powder into water. Choose a product without sugar or artificial coloring. Some are flavored naturally, others are neutral. You may drink it in the morning, especially if you skip breakfast, before or after light exercise, or even between meals if your appetite is low. For those who are vegetarian or eat very little protein, this can be a powerful bridge. If you use BCAAs only, be aware it may delay muscle loss in the short term, but without the full spectrum of EAAs, it may not fully rebuild tissue. Think of BCAAs as support beams. Think of EAAs as the entire blueprint. Now, a few important notes. If you have kidney issues, speak to your doctor before increasing protein intake. Though amino acids are generally safe, medical guidance is always wise. If you are on a low-protein diet for a medical condition, do not add supplements without supervision. The goal is always balance, not excess. And if you feel tired after meals or have trouble chewing, remember, liquid nutrition can be easier, not weaker. What should you notice? Improved muscle tone over time, less soreness after activity, reduced feeling of weakness or instability, possibly even better hydration as amino acids pull water into the muscle cells. This is not a replacement for eating well, it is a support, a way to fill in the quiet gaps between meals, between years, between moments of strength. In ancient wisdom, we rebuild not just the body, but the rhythm of the day. We teach that nourishment is not what you eat, it is what you absorb. So take this wisdom with you. A small scoop, a quiet drink, a body that feels remembered. You are not made of memories alone. You are made of movement, of structure, of subtle living strength. Let your water carry what food has forgotten. Let your muscles feel whole again. There are days when your body does not ask for more effort. It asks for replenishment, not a push, but a pause. Not stimulation, but restoration. In those quiet moments, after a walk, after gardening, after waking from restless sleep, there is one drink that answers with grace. Coconut water with a pinch of sea salt. Let me tell you why this simple combination can be a powerful act of healing. As we have spoken before, hydration is not about water alone. It is about electrolyte balance, about how water moves into the cells and stays there. Coconut water is a natural source of electrolytes, rich especially in potassium, often overlooked yet crucial. Potassium helps regulate muscle contractions, heartbeat, and fluid balance. In fact, coconut water contains more potassium than most sports drinks, and it does so without added sugar, caffeine, or chemicals. For older adults, this matters. Many seniors take medications, diuretics, blood pressure pills that can deplete potassium and magnesium. Even meat. LD dehydration can lead to dizziness, fatigue, or irregular heartbeat. Coconut water helps fill that gap. However, we can take it further by adding just a pinch of sea salt. Why salt? Because while coconut water is high in potassium, it is relatively low in sodium, the other key electrolyte lost through sweat and aging. Adding sea salt helps restore full-spectrum electrolyte balance, supporting both hydration and cellular energy. Think of it this way. Coconut water brings softness, salt brings structure. Together, they make the kind of hydration your body remembers from a time before formulas and factories. So, how do we use it? It is simple. After light physical activity, stretching, walking, tai chi, gardening, mix this drink. 8 to 10 ounces of plain coconut water. Choose one with no added sugar. A small pinch of unrefined sea salt, about 1/16 to 1/8 teaspoon. Optional. A squeeze of lemon or a few mint leaves for digestion and freshness. Stir gently. Drink slowly. This makes an excellent post-activity drink or even a mid-morning hydration ritual. It can be served at room temperature or slightly chilled, whichever your body prefers. A few notes of caution. If you have kidney disease or if your doctor has advised you to limit potassium, be mindful. Coconut water is rich in potassium. 1 cup can contain 400 to 600 milligrams. In healthy individuals, this supports the heart and muscles. However, if potassium must be restricted, speak to your physician first. Also, do not use coconut water as your only hydration source. It is a support, not a substitute for plain water. Think of it as a bridge between energy and rest. What might you feel after drinking it? A gentle sense of clarity, less muscle stiffness, more stable energy through the day, reduced craving for caffeine or sweet snacks, a feeling of internal calm, especially during hot weather or after physical exertion. In traditional cultures, coconut water has long been used as a natural rehydration solution. In some parts of the world, it was even used in emergencies as an IV fluid substitute because of how closely its mineral content mimics human plasma. However, we do not need emergencies to treat our bodies with care. You can choose each day to recover gently, to replenish before you collapse, to honor your body's rhythm before it breaks down. In ancient wisdom, we teach this simple truth. A body in balance does not demand, it receives. When you offer it what is true, it responds with quiet strength. So as you prepare your next glass of water, ask yourself, does it nourish me? Does it support not just hydration, but life within the cells? Let coconut water be your ally. Let sea salt be your reminder of structure. Let each sip be a return to balance. Not the balance of youth, but the balance of awareness. In that awareness, strength is born again. You have walked with me through 5 simple changes, 5 quiet ingredients, 5 ways to turn an ordinary glass of water into something that restores the body and steadies the mind. However, this was never just about hydration. It was never just about electrolytes, muscles, or amino acids. This was about how you choose to care for yourself, not from fear, not to chase youth, but because you are still alive, still here, still worthy of energy, clarity, and strength. Let us remember, your body is not your enemy. It is not betraying you. It is speaking to you softly, daily, through stiffness, through fatigue, through quiet imbalance. When you choose to listen, not with panic, but with presence, the healing begins. A sip becomes a signal. A morning ritual becomes a returning. You are no longer moving through life on autopilot. You are participating in your own well-being. That is a form of strength, too. So whether you add a pinch of sal, tea, a spoon of creatine, a splash of lemon, or simply more awareness to what you drink, know that you are not doing a small thing. You are rebuilding the bridge between body and mind. You are reminding yourself that you are still supported. You are honoring the wisdom of age by giving it a vessel that can still carry you forward. In ancient wisdom, we say the strongest tree is not the one that resists the wind. It is the one that bends and rises again. Your body may have bent, but it has not broken. Your willingness to nourish it, to slow down, to breathe, to sip with intention is arising. So take what serves you from this practice. Let the rest go. There is no perfection here, only presence and the quiet, beautiful discipline of showing up for yourself one glass at a time. Breathe. Sip slowly.